In the days of drought and famine, the word of the Lord came to Elijah the prophet. God instructed him to leave the brook where he had been sustained by ravens and go to Zarephath, a town in Sidon. There, God said, a widow would provide for him. As Elijah approached the gates of the city, he saw a woman gathering sticks. She looked tired, worn by hunger and grief. Elijah called to her and asked for a little water in a jar so he could drink. As she turned to fetch it, he called again, asking for a piece of bread. The woman stopped, her voice trembling. "As surely as the Lord your God lives," she said, "I have no bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a jug." She was preparing a final meal for herself and her son before they died. Her hopelessness was clear, but Elijah spoke with faith. "Do not be afraid," he said. "Go home and do as you have said, but first make a small loaf for me, and then make something for yourself and your son." Elijah's words carried a promise. "For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says," he declared, "the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land." The widow, though uncertain, obeyed the prophet's request. She returned home, prepared the food, and shared it with Elijah. Miraculously, from that day on, the flour and oil never ran out. Day after day, the small household was sustained, just as God had spoken through Elijah. The woman who had been on the brink of death now witnessed divine provision in her own kitchen. Her obedience in the face of fear became her salvation. Elijah stayed with them for many days, and peace settled over the household. But the test of faith was not over. One day the widow's son became ill, so ill that he stopped breathing. Her heart shattered with grief. She cried out in anguish, blaming Elijah for bringing God's judgment into her home. Her joy had turned to sorrow, and she was filled with confusion and pain. Elijah took the boy from her arms, carried him to the upper room where he was staying, and laid him on the bed. Then Elijah cried out to the Lord, pouring out his heart in desperate prayer. "O Lord my God," he pleaded, "have you brought tragedy upon this widow by causing her son to die?" He stretched himself over the boy 3 times and cried out again, "O Lord my God, let this boy's life return to him." God heard Elijah's plea, and the boy's life returned. He lived. Elijah picked him up and carried him down to the mother. "Look," he said, "your son is alive." Her sorrow turned into joy, her doubts into praise. She looked at Elijah with tears in her eyes and said, "Now I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord from your mouth is the truth." This miracle not only restored life to her son, but faith to her heart. It was a testament to God's power to provide, protect, and resurrect. Through Elijah, the God of Israel revealed his mercy, not just to a nation, but to a single grieving mother.